Alright, making a video. Response to connivance loop-de-doo. Yes. Connivance. I like that. Connivance. Anyway. Oh, this just so this is just so vacuous. This whole enlightenment is selfish projection. Look at the universe as if what is everything's utility to me and nothing else. So utility is all that counts. Because I am important and everything else isn't. It's just so infantile. Well, it's not even, infants aren't this selfish. You have to be maybe a 5-year-old. It's just so 5-year-old.
I don't know. This scarf, same deal. It's exactly the same thing as anything else in this room or anything else in this world. Universe, even dimension, whatever you want to call it.
Right, so he says an MP3 player is the same as a scarf, basically implying that everything is just matter, right? But the trick is, matter, he says, does have identity. Now, he probably says atoms have identity and molecules because they have properties he is sort of dependent on. He had to make himself. But yeah, everything else is completely not anything. It's just atoms. So he has a new kid. His kid is just atoms. And it's only because he, in his magnificence, has bestowed upon it some other meaning, because it's somehow useful to his, whatever, projection of his, whatever, penis problems or some other thing. Like, I need to demonstrate that I'm not a homo or something. Or whatever he's doing. It's utility. Frankly, it doesn't have too much utility, right? I guess it wants something to wipe its ass when it's a doddering old shithole fucktard who doesn't know who the fuck he is in 10 years. An old 10-year-old's gonna have to go wipe his ass. Anyway.
Matter, energy, empty space. But I look around the room that I'm in. That is, if I get rid of this blind in my laundry.
Matter, energy, empty space. Right, so you look around and we can see that these different things have different properties. The properties are quite obvious. They're not disguised. They're not, and they're certainly not real. You're saying their properties aren't real? So that means everything is indistinguishable from everything else until I project on it? No, it's the properties are real. They have real properties.
Room, and I see all kinds of things. But these things only exist because I understand what they are, and I put identity upon them.
Well, again, you don't have to understand what something is to recognize that it has properties. Even if they're properties you don't understand. Lots of people have computers. They don't understand how they work. They don't understand. Not only do they not understand the electricity that runs them, they don't understand how they're put together. They don't understand what the different components do. They don't understand what the software does. They don't understand anything about it. But they understand what a computer is.
Identity is provisional. It's simply based upon what I require of these.
Identity is provisional. It's dependent on what I require of these things. Now, who falls for this? What rational person thinks they can just dehumanize with this brush? And this is a guy who laments and talks about the savage brutalities that have been imposed upon man and all this crap and all these laments and all this somehow. And it's just like, what is this? All he's lamenting is that the wrong side won or something? Like he wanted to be the controller? He thinks everybody should have control? Does that make sense? Everybody can have complete control? Everybody can drive the bus? Oh, wait a minute, that wouldn't work at all.
Things to be. I'm not saying that I conjure these things into existence, but I conjure their purpose into existence. At least
Again, so their purpose. So again, the purpose of another human being, he conjures into existence. I don't have my own purpose. I don't have my own... I don't, by definition of properties, an animal, sentience, feeling capacity, these things are not relevant. They're only relevant if I say so? They only exist if I say so? No, come on. They're properties. They exist. They have to be acknowledged. Being fair.